Hello and welcome to the grand finals of the DEFCON2 2v2 tournament. This is game one of a best of three played between the two finalist teams. We've got Team Canada, consisting of Fortitude Fence, a Canadian, and Homelander, a Russian. And they're up against VAB T20 Eternal, which consists of Darricks, the man who balances the game, and Tiberius Rancor. So I really did want to cover this series live, and I told him, look, you've delayed the finals a lot. Just don't do it on this one specific week. This one specific week, I can't do it. This one specific weekend, I can't do it because I was at a conference for university abroad, and all four of them agreed to have it on that weekend where I couldn't cast it live. And I asked them, and all four of them decided to do it then. So, frankly, I hope all of them lose. Sadly, that's not possible. So, we're on Hesse, and yeah, looking at the teams, really interesting draft here. You'd expect one team to go NATO, one team to go well. Usually, you'd expect a lot of NATO teams, but here we see no NATO teams. So, Fortitude's gone 119Y, so he's going to have a lot of heavy tanks. And Homelander's gone 4th Mortschützen, so he's going to be quite strong in the town here. He's called himself Yamato this time. He changes his name a lot. Darricks and Tiberius on their El Clasico 35Y39Y. They picked this matchup a lot. And a lot of this is to do with evading bans. So if we look at the bans here, I've got the bans in front of me. The bans were 3rd US, 79Y, 11 US, and 27Y. So yeah, really interesting setup that, like, nobody picked 82nd Airborne. Like, 82nd Airborne 5th Panzer would have been cool. But yeah, it was a strange decision to go all packed here in the finals. So just looking at the draft, we've got Fortitude, of course, 119Y gets forward deployed stuff as well. So he's sending some Spetsnaz, some FS Jaeger, and Homelander's sending some Strelas, some FS Jaeger. So they've actually committed quite a lot of units over here, and they're in a defensive formation. Although when you're against 35Y, of course, they have forward deployed as well. So you do have to be a bit careful. But this is a lot of units, considering they don't intend to attack. Like, they're unloading basically in their own zone. I guess the last time we saw this team play was against Team Evil, Emperor Nate, and Saint Blindfire, and they managed to push into this zone. so I can understand why Blue are more willing to defend it. So a couple more Spetsnaz here, and then on the right you got a lot of pings coming out. A lot of pings from Blue Team. And yeah, so they clearly intend to attack in Gulf, and they've brought 2 Cubs, a supply, two forward deployed. Okay, so this is only a recon deployed. Special forces, basically these are false flag guys, which is why they've got NATO weapons, even though they're unpacked. 2 Zickerungs, 2 T80 UDs, Escortini, and 3 recon vehicles, and a CV. And the Spetsnaz grew on the right. So they really clearly want to attack over here. Switching to their opponent's deployment, we've got VAB T20 Eternal. Darricks doing his standard thing where he just opens with these... sorry, I am quite ill. I picked something up at the conference. So if you can hear my voice slowly giving out, I do apologise. But I do want to get these games out. So I do apologise for that. So he's opened with the PKMs everywhere, and it looks like he's playing defense here. Look, he's defending in the zone. He definitely intends to defend on this side, and it looks like they're going to attack on this side. So it's going to be a total brawl over this Hotel Golf side here. So, Darricks, he's going to get an ATGM to here, forward deployed bundle of sticks there, and some AA. So the Escortini is not going to be able to do too much. And this bundle of sticks, it's not that good, but it is an ATGM. The enemy will have to clear that out, which will buy him time for Tiberius to get up the BMP 1Ps, which he really likes because they fire the bundle of sticks as well. And yeah, lots of motor strokey, 2 T80s. So 3 T80s, a T80B, a T80BV, and a T80BVK. 3 Strelas, so no long-range AA, all short-range AA, and 2 BRM1s and a tank CV. So that's how it's going to be. We'll cast the game and we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel joiners, generously bankrolling these videos. I gave $50 to this tournament, and there's another tournament happening this Saturday, and I gave $50 to that as well. So the money you give to me, I do reinvest a lot of it into the project. You know, this microphone, this costs money. The webcam, it costs money. All this, you know. I of course embezzle some of the money, but yeah, if you want to get the videos early, if you want to support the channel, if you want to get your name on the screen, that's the way to do it. And okay, so that MI2 is very, very, very dead, and down it goes. Even if he tried to turn that around, because of how unmaneuverable helicopters are, it wouldn't have worked out. So I can hear pings coming out there. So okay, so the ATGMs are taking out the SPWs. Do you see he's actually got two. He's got one here, one here. So without artillery, it's very difficult to deal with that. This Spetsnaz crew is just going to die. These snipers are going to kill them straight away. So they brought in the Escortinis, and wow. Okay, so that's the first time I've seen the 240mm rockets do anything. So they're going to try and use those to take out this, and that'll work. But this ZSU is still here, so they can't bring that any further. And this attack has sort of petered out. Fortitude has forgotten about his MI9. He really needs to cap these zones because Red are on a +2. The Escortinis are trying to get back, but as we discussed, helicopters in this game are really, really not maneuverable at all. So they lose both of them, and that's to be expected, really. And now Blue are in a pretty rough situation. The T-80UD should begin engaging the BMP-1Ps, and Red will not be able to break through these. But it does mean that Blue's intended attack hasn't worked out. And yeah, so Fortitude, he's woken up a bit, but Darricks and Tiberius are on a +2, soon to be a +4 with the arrival of this commander, which means that Blue have to spend the rest of the game pushing, and Red can just sort of sit there. Over here, these infantry, they're dying too fast, really. These tanks have left them, so they really need to retreat the infantry into the forest. They're bringing reinforcements. We see a pack gun coming in there. Planes, so yeah, Tiberius bringing the LGBT, and Darricks bringing the cluster there, so the two Cubs might be able to stop it. They've seen the T-80UD, and I'm pretty sure this one can't one-shot the T-80UD. The Cubs are opening up. Ooh, so that's down for a little while, but if they'd killed that, that would have been colossal, because LGBTs in this game grossly overpowered. The power of diversity, basically it reloads every 60 seconds, so it's a delete button on a 60-second cooldown, unless you can kill it or damage it, in which case it takes ages to repair. So by damaging that, he's done a lot of work. Darricks has now brought a seed, and this is a pretty good seed plane. It's got high range, high accuracy. You see it does actually outrange the Cubs, and Fox 1, or is it Fox 4 or something, I can't remember. So it does take out a Cub there. The Su-27 does not manage to finish it off. The Cub does, though, the second Cub getting that shot off there. But Darricks, the cluster plane must have been hit by a Cub or something, because typically, once the seed flies over, you want to send the cluster plane over. So Tiberius, he's made some progress here. I don't see a mortar for smoke, but he is getting in there. What happened to the T-80UDs? They're still here. They're just... Okay, so Tiberius, he pops the smoke and gets in the zone, which is going to buy him some time there, and Fortitude has to smoke up his T-80B VK. Switch it to that side so that we can pay attention to what's going on over here while we take a look at this fight. The T-80UDs should win against the T-80 not UDs. The T-80UD, of course, one of the best tanks in the game. But yeah, Fortitude, he's got out the zone here. I hear a grad going off. So this is a half grad, which is... I'm really surprised by this. I always see Darricks bringing the half grad. It's really not very good. The full grad is better. And so his teammate could bring the full grad, but I guess Darricks feels that his teammate should just be buying T-80 BVs, which he can't do, and so he'd rather buy that. Fortitude's Su-27 takes out another plane there, so yeah, but then it goes down because of the way AA works in this game. It's just dice roly, and that time he got unlucky, so 2 shots, 2 hits. The T-80UDs are winning, just slowly destroying all these tanks one at a time. They got pretty high pen, 21, because these are only 19. You see they've got a lot more armor, that's their main advantage. Fortitude, he's got to get back in here, but he's struggling because because of these tanks, and this doesn't have much HP, so he's trying to heal it up, but this has been wounded as well, so it's going to take some time. So it looks like he will get this back in here, but I don't know if it's got smoke. So he's recapped, the tick stops. Over here, Darricks is slowly moving forwards. I usually do cast from a perspective, but when the fights are this clumped up, can be advantageous to go side on with her. So this BRM1, this is in a good spot, and this exceptional optics is really giving red team an advantage in these fights. Their things fire sooner because they see the enemy sooner. Whereas, you know, blue, they can't even see this. They don't have any recon. So he gets spotted. I hear the half-grads, so that he's got 2 now. Just trying to damage the enemy infantry, but red has fallen back. They've realised, okay, we took crazy losses there. Lots of T-80Vs dying, although this surviving on 1 HP is very powerful. Very good play. And over here, blue, you know, they had the force advantage, and indeed they still do, but because they just sat in their zone, Darricks has managed to just take all this. And once he gets to the church, which he's decided not to capture, he will be able to see the enemies from quite far away, and he's managed to get a bundle of sticks here. So this is actually the situation is ripe for red to attack this, especially with the grads and stuff, but I feel that red will probably spend most of their points. Yeah, they're still buying stuff for this, trying to keep this locked down. We do see a Eurogun. The Eurogun is really bad, so I'm not sure why they brought that instead of the normal grads, but there you go. T-80UD's retreating out of the grad fire there. And blue have managed to secure borders. This pack gun's got 2,800 meters range. They're trying to move some Zickerungs here. That's Homelander there. But the SPW-70s are not going to live very long. These T-80BVs will one-shot them. SPG-9's an interesting choice. It's very expensive for what it is. 50 points. I really don't think it's worth it. But there you go. Darricks a better player than me. So Kokons did get buffed in this patch, so they're pretty scary now. They go faster, which means they deal more damage. But yeah, the Mi-8 rockets are just constantly going down, See a lot of blue deaths there. Over here, Darricks is trying to move the PKMs forwards. If they're in buildings defensively, they're good, but you get them in the open like that, and he's just dancing into the fire there. Do see some target switching there, but because he was in the fire, he died to the fire. Basically, the way targeting works in this game is bugged, which is a shame. The SPG-9s are just not really doing a whole lot, but the T-80BV is. However, now the T-80UDs are on it. That miss, though, that was a shame. Really wanted to see how much damage a shot from that would take off. See these repairers, they're only dealing 1 damage, but they shoot quite fast, and they've got quite a long range there, so it's doing... You know, it's doing a decent amount of work. Over here, yeah, so blue, they didn't move at all, and they just repelled that entire attack, but they're not advancing, they're not recapturing this ground, which is really strange to me. I guess they only care about this, which is fair enough, really. So Yamato, Homelander, he's telling his bro to move up. So these guys, Homelander doesn't speak English, right? So it's very difficult to for these guys to communicate. But yeah, it seems that red have also managed to make it over here. Nothing stopping them. Homelander buying another helicopter. Fourth do get a lot. And yeah, there's a lot of grads firing. I don't see a CV with them to make them reload faster. And it's difficult to push into this, but to be honest, they're not that strong. But when you clump up like this, like that's 6 units there, you are going to take some heavy losses. Having said that, blue, they're making some good progress here. The only problem they've got is just no recon at all. Like, this is the only recon. So their tanks can't see the enemy tanks and stuff like that. And yeah, Tiberius, he's got some repairers of his own. The Seed is out, but the Su-27 is blocking it. Okay, so we see a bomber come out from Yamato here, but the Strelas, you know, you got to roll the Strela dice roll. This has got 20% ECM, but air interactions in this game are very strange. So you see that 2 shots, 2 hits on these 2 Strela again, 55% accuracy. 3rd shot, 3rd hit there. So, you know, air is just all about the RNG, and these Strelas have been having a good day today. So I think he's trying to change the altitude. Yeah, oh, he's just landed it, which means this Conkers is going to shoot it. Oh, no. Okay, so he's noticed. That means he has to take off again. But you see that? This can't actually see that. It's not got the optics. Even though it's shooting at it. So, Grad's coming out again. And yeah, blue, they've just got to keep reversing and going forwards, going backwards, going forwards, going backwards. They can't stand still because the Grads keep hitting them. Having said that, they don't deal a lot of damage, these half-Grads. They only have 12 rounds in them. So it's more of like a morale effect. Not only the cohesion of the units, but also you see it coming towards you and you think it's a bigger deal than it is. Because look at that. It literally did nothing. Right, that's the Uragan. This is going to do a lot more, although he split the volley. I think he's realised that there's actually nobody there. So, Fortitude, yeah, forced to keep pulling the tanks forwards and backwards. I think he should try and come over here, because if you come over here, you just get shot from two sides, right? But yeah, it's Red's turn to defend. They've got the points. This is a good spot. Seeing, yep. Homelander is trying to get Fortitude to attack. This is a pretty scary blob of tanks now. This guy, I think he's been forgotten about. So, 2 Uragans, really messing up that MTLB there. Motshutson in the transports. But yeah, okay, so there's finally recon here. There's finally recon here. All of the tanks miss. Man. You can tell who balances the game, can't you? It's like he literally just opened up the console and... That is crazy. That tank should be dead. It should be dead. So, nothing's going on over there. These tanks are smoked and they've got the supply right behind them, whereas Fortitude, he's got to find the supply. All his tanks are a little bit low. The infantry's going ahead without tank support, which means the T-80BVs are going to keep shooting these SPW-70s. So now he's trying to get over here, but he needs recon with his tanks. I really like how Tiberius has these BRM-1s with the tanks. You can also use the BRDM. So it's Burrito purchased here. This thing is grossly over expensive. 3,000 supply for one volley is pretty gross. So Seed coming out here. They probably want to go in on the Mi-24P. So they're sending the Seed first. But the Seed gets double tapped by the Cubs and the Strela. Double tapped by the Cubs simply because the Cubs were switched off, so they waited for him to fly over. So that MiG-29 goes down there as well. The LGBT is the main target. If you can kill that, it's big news. T-80UD gets side shot by a Conkers. That is a crazy expensive loss there. And okay, so we see the LGBT come in. No, I'm really not sure where that went, actually. Oh, man, that is a crazy... Losing that to that, that's wild. You see, he's already got the max rank of vet because he killed something so expensive. And these Cubs are having a field day. They've killed so many tanks. You see, this one's 3 vet now as well. More tanks dying to this Conkers. And, yeah, they're just finding it really hard to push into this zone. I mean, there's just too much here. Too much here. So the Burrito's out. It's not going to get those tanks, sadly, because they're just going to reverse. But it is cool to see the Burrito. And, yeah, MiG-21 Bison AA probably going to die to a Cub because it will get one shot. Although this SU is evacing completely over the wrong place. Having said that, 6 missiles only got, like, 1 hit there, so a bit yikes. Micro just running into RNG. The Uragans, you know, I'm really not sure Red can keep this up. I think if it goes super late, Blue should win. Having said that, Blue are taking some bad trades. So, okay, so they do have these. So these should really be attached to the tanks. I do wonder how much supply Red has. So yeah, they're just going to keep smacking it over and over again. But losing that T-80UD was really sad. And this meta squad can probably kill all of that. So they brought some infantry up here. Because, yeah, you can't get close enough to stop the minimum range, because then the Spetsnaz Guru kills you. So it's just going to die. And you see Darricks has actually brought a CV up here. So these guys need to be, like, here, basically, but, I don't know, he's just not clocked on. You see the Burrito isn't really getting any hits, because the tanks just move, right? And it doesn't have that great range. And yeah, it's very difficult to attack when there's so many AT gems everywhere. And especially, like, there's no tube artillery. I've noticed this is something, the blue side, these guys really struggle to bring artillery. We see the burrito, but, like, there's really only one way to clear out these positions, and that's with Acacias. So this is a pretty substantial force now, and the AA helo is going to go down. The commander's actually shooting Iglas at it, and down he goes. So they're going to try and get in there. He needs to unload. Okay. Yeah, he'll probably be able to get in for like a split second before dying. I'm surprised there's no smoke cover, but actually I'm not, because Darricks just doesn't seem to do that. So the BMP-1s are going to start opening up on this, but you're not stopping him from getting in. You just need to get that CV. You need to get that CV over here right now. Okay, Darricks has changed his mind. He actually wants to keep his guy alive, which is pretty impressive. You don't see a lot of that, to tell you the truth. HE bomber coming in here to hit that position. If it evacs left, it's in for a world of hurt, because that's where the Cubs are. And these Cubs are 3 vetted now with all those kills they got. Good bombing run, probably going to get some kills there. Yeah, gets 4. There's 4 kills there, but this is bugged out, so it only shows 3. And he did evac left, and he survived the Cubs. So this zone just has too much stuff in it now. I mean, honestly, I'm really surprised. Well, I'm not. Okay, I need to stop saying that. Homelander really does not like buying artillery, and what their team needs right now is 2 RM70s from the 4th player hitting all these positions, but they're just not going to have it because Homelander hates buying arty. You'll see that he just hasn't bought a single piece. So it's a big shame, because that's really the best way to clean this out. So the Mott Schutzen, they're running in. Because Darricks is down this hill, they can't really use the BMP-1s and stuff, because they'll get blown up. Bomber comes in, should get a lot of kills. Gets 2 or 3 there, but this only shows 1. This guy needs to get in this building, but yeah, this has been cleaned out. I think if Darricks had reinforced it a bit more with some AA, you know. Well, okay, he had short-range AA. I guess Tiberius had to send some Cubs here. That would have been useful, and a smoke mortar, but as it stands this actually accomplished nothing because he never got into the zone, so all that work was for nothing there. Grads continue to fire. Oh, burrito time. Where's it going? It's going on that T-80 BV. Will it get it? Oh, it's close. Yeah, maybe. No. Yeah, no. That's a shame. Smokes with all his tanks. And yeah, this is where you need those Acacias, or 119Y gets like the Mr. Bean or something. I think it's called the Mr. Bean, and you could use that to hit these positions. But as long as these guys are in these buildings, they're going to really struggle to push there. And the other thing with Pact is that their manpads aren't that good, which means these are coolers, and they could just sit back here and just stop any tanks from getting through. Unless you back them up with the Strellas, and then the enemy will target the Strellas. So he's got to keep these moving. Tiberius still got an LGBT here, in case something breaks through. And Darricks, he's going to try again here. He'll probably run into the same problem he ran into last time. But it's really surprising to see this not here. But it is what it is. So Uragun's with a CV there. Double Uragun. Okay, I guess it went here. I'm not sure what happened there. These tanks are firing. They're taking out some positions. You see we've got recon here finally. The tracks are broken on this, so it can't move. Perfect opportunity for artillery. 21 minutes left. Darricks is still running interference, you know. He's trying to just spread the enemy out, stop him from reinforcing this, basically. Uragun comes in again, but you can just move, unless you're a British tank, in which case you're too slow, you can't do anything. T-80U gets sideshot by a low-cohesion T-80 BV, and wow! 2 shots, 2 hits with a low-cohesion T-80 BV. That is really, really, really lucky. We've seen a lot of luck for the red side this game, actually. Although that wasn't great. But taking out that Su-27 was. So, you know, it all swings and roundabouts. This is not smart. This is not smart. No seed. Like, where? This is not smart. He didn't even drop the LGBTs. And That was really, really, really bad play. That was really bad play. Losing those 2 LGBTs for nothing. He didn't even take this out. That was really, really, really bad play. He's got 21 minutes left and he just lost both his LGBTs in one volley, which accomplished nothing. If the 4th player had submitted a seed, or even the 119Y player gets a seed. But yeah, the tanks, you know, the tanks have to go back again because of the grads. Tiberius bringing up the T80BV to try and take advantage of the low cohesion here. Yeah, that was really not great for blue. They were on the cusp of, well, not really. They were getting closer. But it's very difficult to crack a position like this. Yeah, especially, you know, if there's just 2 players just saturating, what was that, 1/3 of the width of the map, maybe a quarter of the width of the map. 2 players saturating that. Very difficult to push. You've just got to basically play for kills for like 20 minutes and then get a guy in. But this all comes down to that CV at the start. The fact that these guys went for the Fortitude always does this. He always goes for this helicopter CV. It's slower, which meant that red got a tick at the start, and that means blue has to push for the rest of the game. So if they just opened 3 CVs, they wouldn't have had to do that, and it would be red pushing. So a big shame. And yeah, you know, the tank, Fortitude's tank blob's quite small now. Yeah, he's only got 1 T80U left. He's got to be careful because of all the helicopters and stuff. Tiberius, he's still got his T80BVs. These are double vetted because he's got the command tank with him. And yeah, any kill you don't finish is one that just gets resupplied, so that guy's going to be back. And okay, this helicopter's got to get out of here now. What? How did that die? I mean, we were just looking at it, but so it's not showing side armor, it's showing front armor. So I think the Mi-24V killed it or something. I'm really not sure how that one died there. So yeah, it just becomes a war of attrition more than anything, and them doing stuff like this isn't going to help with that. Because you know that, oh no. So the main thing you want to do with the grads is make them hit at the exact right time that you can use your tanks. So this burrito, that's a good volley. We'll see what happens there. Probably won't kill the tank. And yeah, it's just a crying shame that there's no RM70s here from Homelander. The T55s are not contributing much of anything. Although I do think they contributed to that death of that CV tank there. You really want 2 RM70s firing the whole game. I think that would be really, really useful. You see the enemy is using a lot of rocket RT and it's doing a lot of work. Just slowing the enemy down more than anything. See the smoke starting to come out now? Not sure who's shooting it though. What's that going? It's blue. Blue is smoking. So that's a decent burrito volley because it should get some of the infantry. You see that explodes right on this one and does no damage. Just a problem with buildings, basically. That's a shame. It didn't really get much of anything, despite being like a perfect shot. And yeah, the Blues' reluctance to buy lots of artillery is really hurting them because this is a static engagement. This is where you need the RT. You see Red's using it quite well just to keep all this suppressed constantly. Positions like this can be cleared out with artillery quite easily. You know, these anti-tank guns, they don't go so fast, so that would be the play, but instead they're relying on air and stuff, and this could be moved up. I guess he is doing it. Trying to move that AA helo as well. Yeah, it's just really weird to see a 4th player not bring in the RM70s. Meanwhile, the enemy literally have 4 half-grads here. Wow. And you see that they're not really getting any kills. It's just about slowing the enemy down. And all they got to do is slow the enemy down for 15 more minutes. Every time they hit, these all need repairing. Do you see what I mean? That Tunguska went down to... what? Exactly? Maybe this? Maybe this? And blue, they can't really push because there's just too much here. And they're not clearing it out. So it's a big shame, because it really does just come down to those CVs at the start. If Blue had got more CVs out at the start, then they wouldn't have had to push for the rest of the game. But they do, and now they're in this problem. So 2 T80Us there, barely beating 2 T80BVs. It just comes down to the cohesion, right? So seeing a lot of so the ATGMs are all over the place, and it's really messing with their ability to attack. Losing that supply is very important. That's quite a big supply vehicle, especially in these longer games. And Red clearly planned for this. They said, we're going to get points early, and then we're going to sit there for 40 minutes. And that's exactly what they're doing. Look, you know, all these anti-tank guns, all these grads, all that supply for the grads, you know, they clearly planned for this. So the helicopters just accomplish nothing when there's 10 million AA here. And yeah, Blue just constantly advancing on this flank and not getting anywhere. Whereas there's actually not a whole lot here. They'd have to clear it out. But, you know. So, we're hearing pings. We're hearing aggressive Homelander pings. He's saying, look, we got to go down here, but that's not going to work out. There's just too much turtling going on here. Defending is a lot easier than attacking in this game. And so we see Red defending. 13 minutes left on the board. Darricks is not selling this. He's actually going to use it to tank shots. Yeah, 2 Euroguns, 4 grads. It's a big investment on the MLRS, but it's working. The enemy are struggling to attack. I mean, it's not really doing any killing. Obviously, that mortar's going to go down there. This might die, but the grads are better. The regular grads are much better, but whatever. Eurogun, sure. Might be to do with the supply cost efficiency of the Eurogun compared to the grad. I wouldn't know. So they're doing a little bit, but it's mainly just about stopping them from attacking. Right, so we see Blue have realised, well, they want to attack down here, but he's actually going to reveal his attack. And there's just so much here that they're just not going to break through unless they smoke it off. And I don't see any artillery there. I don't see any artillery from Blue. I really do think that's just a huge mistake. Apart from the burrito, and we had 1 mortar back here, which is dead. It's just very silly to not bring the RM70s. So a bit of a outplay there. The SU's getting hit, and then that means okay. Well, there's 2 MiG-21s over here. This MiG-29 is going quite deep. Cubs switch on, and yeah, he's not going home. So by coming down this road, they've revealed their plan, and now Darricks is reinforcing some more. He's also got 10 million helicopters over here. These MiG-21 Bison AAs, you see that's literally fired 8 missiles at that and got 0 hits. And then the MiG-29 takes out the SU-27. So that's just life, innit? Sometimes you 2v1 somebody and the game, but the guns at the end getting that. This fight's still going on. Homelander definitely wants to go here, but it's just not going to work out. There's too much here. Not sure what this guy's still doing around. I mean, he's not going home. He's going to fly over all this AA now. Down he goes. More AA out. Yeah, this attack, you know, it's going to take so long that the enemy will just switch the grads over, switch the Euroguns over. Although for now they're content to just sit there and defend. So the MLRS is hitting the Cubs now. The advantage of the half grad is that it aims really quite quickly, so taking out 2 supply vehicles there is consequential. So you see they aim in 20 seconds, whereas something like the Eurogun... No, actually that's 21, never mind. Although that is upbed by CV. And these aren't. Because there is a CV here, but he's not put it next to the grads. So good bombing run out there from Reds. The MiG-23s are trying to go on the helicopters, but they're flying over the AA now, and now they're probably both going to die. One does. Mi-24P goes down here. The rockets soon to follow. Helicopters just really not very good. They're only really good defensively. They're not good offensively at all. Simply because you fly into AA and you actually can't escape. because of your forward momentum and because they fly like bricks. You try and click backwards, but you keep going forwards. Then you start spinning around in circles. It's really, really unpleasant. So this Akula, you know, it's got the 26 pen missile, which is yellow for some reason, and yeah, this is a very, very bad situation for this tank to be in because he's stunned, so he can't smoke, and he's probably going to go down now. Yeah, so that was, yeah, that was really sad to see. So MiG-29 going for the Akula. You know, blue, they make some progress here, but red, they're just bringing 4 BMP-2s now, and there's some anti-tank guns here. They've still got enough helicopters left there. And over here, okay, so red's now counter-attacking here. The T-80Us are very low HP. Lots going on. Very difficult to cover everything. And yeah, still no ticks on the board. Just those ticks from the start, although it looks like red are going to get back in here. And that's what it's all about. Basically, you got to bait your enemy into attacking you, because defending's so much easier than attacking. You got to bait the enemy into attacking you, and then you can get a big KD, and then you can attack towards the end. So defensive players are very good at that, and that's the way the game's meant to. Well, that's the way the game works. Whether or not it's meant to be played that way, who knows? But because you see, like now, red are attacking; they're taking atrocious losses. But over here, blue, they Darricks just came over this, and now he's killing those things. And there's just too much here, so red surrenders. They go next, and that's GG. So game 1 goes to the French, VAB T20 Eternal. You see the KD there. That's what happens when you gotta attack. So that's why it's always worth getting the CVs in at the start, particularly in a 2v2. You can afford to get 3 CVs at the start between you, and then because that's literally why red won. That's why their KD was so good. That's why they won, simply because they got points at the start because they bought more CVs, and then they just sat on it for the whole game, and the enemy had to attack them. Well, they didn't like fully sit on it. We saw Darricks running interference down mid and stuff like that. You got that Conkers around the side, which one-shot the T-80UD on the side, stuff like that. But yeah, it was basically just the CVs were deciding the fate of the game there. So we'll go to game 2, which is the first link in the description, and I'll see you there.